Hi, I'm Kim Tasso. Today we're going to be looking at a marketing idea about the four P's and why it's still important to you and your firm. Marketing theory and practice obviously changes over time as it adapts to new environments and new technologies, but we're going to start with the early concept and look at how it's built and developed over time. So we're going to start by looking at these four P's. And I can tell you as a consultant, one of the reasons I often see people not having very effective marketing is because they over focus on one particular P to the exclusion of the others. So it will be good for you to work out how not to make the same mistake. So the first P is place. We can call this the marketplace. The focus on our clients, who we are targeting. We need to really understand who the people are we're trying to reach and the best channels to reach them. And more importantly, a key concept in marketing is to focus on their needs so that we can find a way to fulfill them profitably. There's another idea here in place that's really important in marketing. We call it STP, which stands for segmentation, targeting and positioning. So I thought I'd give you an example here of Terry's chocolate orange. I'm sure you've had one. We don't try and eat the whole orange. We break it into small segments. And in marketing, those segments each have shared characteristics and needs. More recently in marketing, we've talked about thinking about personas, which is like a little archetype. So we might have a segment of business owners, but the persona of one might be a very young person with a first startup in the science field, compared to a serial entrepreneur who's had loads of businesses, more mature in years and age, and focusing on, say, property development. Okay, so thinking about the place is the starting point. Once we really understand the marketplace and have empathy with that, we can move on to the next P, which is around product. Now that could be a product or services or some sort of other proposition of value. It really is important that we think about how we match what we can do to what the market needs. And often in professional services particularly, we over focus on the technical aspects of the product, which is similar to everybody else, without thinking around the differentiating bits such as the service standards or the experience or the particular type of relationship which makes it stand out. We can think about products as being like commodities where they are all the same, but we want to make our product different and to be perceived as having a higher value and something very different. And many people will use the brand to do that. So the third P is around price. And price is really important because it drives profit. And that's a really important idea in marketing, where we think about how we can maximize the profitability. So I'm going to go back to the chocolate orange. Okay, this uses a brand. Now, if I look at the cost per 100 grams of a Terry's chocolate orange, we're in the region of around £1.80 to £1.90. If I look at just a commodity orange flavoured chocolate in a no brand scenario, the price comes down to £1.10, £1.20 for 100 grams. So that's quite a big difference that we achieve through brand and packaging and differentiation. So the fourth P in the original four Ps is promotion. Now, some people call this marketing communications. It's how we communicate to the place what our product is and at what price. And there are thousands and thousands and ever more every day of techniques, but they fall into roughly 5 categories. That's advertising, PR, digital marketing, selling, and sales promotion. We don't use much of sales promotion in the professions because buy one lawyer, get one free. Doesn't kind of work really. So the promotional piece is often where people focus on having not really done the other parts, which is why it sometimes doesn't work. Now, when services became more focused than perhaps products. They developed this into the 7Ps, and they added physical evidence and process and people. And I put people in the middle here because of two reasons. In a service business, the people are those who are interacting with your customers and clients, and they create, if you like, a part of the client experience. And they're also your ambassadors, so they need to be connected and understand what you're trying to achieve because they're part of that delivery. Now, over time, we've adapted and developed the 4Ps, and they've become things like the 4Cs and the 4Es and the 4EPs, and there's a diagram to show you how they've moved forward, and references for you to read more of those. Now, in the professions, sometimes we have this other model that dominates, which is around reputation and revenue and relationships. And while it's a good framework, I have two concerns there. One is we kind of lose that client-centric approach, which you get here by starting with the place, the marketplace, and also, you know, revenue perhaps overshadows the importance of profit, which we kind of really get here with focusing on the price. So a very quick review of the 4Ps of marketing, or how I've evolved from the 4 to the 7 to the 5 Ps of marketing. Thank you very much for watching, and I really think now it's time for me to have a chocolate break.